What's going on, 5-9 friends? Ironcane here as one of your hosts for your weekly dose of Gacha news. In today's episode, we'll be covering some cool updates coming soon, good old collaborations, and some shutdowns. Now, I know that shutdowns aren't exactly the most positive thing to talk about, but news is news. Anyways, if you guys enjoy the video, feel free to leave it a like, comment down below your favorite Konosuba waifu, and subscribe to stay up to date on everything we do here on 5-9 Gaming Mobile. With all that said, let's get right into this week's news. Kicking things off, we have an exciting update coming to the global side of Konosuba Fantastic Days. The update will have nice additions like a friend system, item exchange, enhanced profile customization, and more. Other improvements coming include a player rank expansion going from player rank 99 to 200. The ability to use multiple stamina beefs at once as well as friend stamina beefs being available, and affinity system and super ability expansion, improved elemental icons and sorting for parties, and lastly, enhanced profile customization with new titles. Now you might be saying, okay Iron, quality of life improvements are great and all, but are my waifus getting new skins? Yes, my friend, they are. The upcoming banners include one that's Halloween themed, featuring Iris in a mischievous princess costume and Yun in a friendly Halloween costume. The other banner has skins for Aqua and Darkness, and although those aren't exactly the most suitable for battle, the art is pretty aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, that's about everything coming to the game this month, so look forward to it. Konosuba Fantastic Days is available on Android and iOS devices for global. By the way, Gail and I did a first impressions video on the channel a couple months ago, so if you're unsure if the title is something you're interested in, check it out to hear our thoughts. Have you heard of Mixie Cross Disney Star Smash? Well, if you haven't, don't get too attached. It was announced this week that the game will be shutting down this year on December 7th. All purchasable options are now inaccessible, with refunds available to players until March 7th, 2022 for any purchases made. Unfortunately, the game hasn't even been around that long, just releasing November 16th in 2020. Star Smash was developed by X-Flag, the team behind Monster Strike. The title was a co-op action game that featured Disney characters. The goal of the title was to smash targets at the other end of an arena. So think of it as like a hockey block breaking game with Disney characters as power-ups. To play, users had to time their taps accordingly to smash the ball and hit their targets. Star Smash had pretty favorable reviews on co-op, getting 4 stars, with praise going towards its intuitive playstyle. It's unknown why the game is shutting down, but one could assume that it's either due to a lack of players or unimpressive sales that could have led to this decision. If you'd like to try out this unique mobile crossover game with Disney characters, Star Smash will be available on Android and iOS devices on JP until December 7th of this year. F's in the chat, fellas. Got another gacha shutting down that unfortunately didn't even make a year. Kingsense released on May 13th for global and is now scheduled for shutdown October 22nd due to developmental and operational issues, according to the game's official notice. The title was a breeding RPG that featured tactical combat in a 5x9 grid. Get it? 5-9? Alright. Anyways, players had more than 40 different units to collect called Senates, each with their unique traits and personalities that are fully voiced. Technically, even after this version goes away, those interested can still play the CN and JP versions. But if you like to avoid dealing with translations, the global version will be removed for download entirely tomorrow. So if you want to give it a whirl before it shuts down on the 22nd, better act fast. First up for collaborations this week, we have Granblue Fantasy, which will be having a crossover with Gintama. The event will start tomorrow and conclude on the 28th of this month. An original scenario will be playable in celebration of the collaboration, with Toshiro Ichikata and Sogo Okita joining the players' parties after completing Chapter 1, Episode 3 of the collaboration story. There will be a second half of the event that will take place on the 20th. In this portion of the collab, players will be able to add Gintoki Sakata, Shinpachi Shimura, and Kagura once Chapter 5, Episode 3 is cleared. By clearing collaboration quests, players will be able to obtain treasure that can be exchanged for summons. These summons will give players the opportunity to get Kotaro Katsura and Elizabeth, as well as Wooden Sword Lake Toya starting on the 20th. If you like to get in on the crossover festivities, you'll need to bust out the VPN or use QApp because Granblue Fantasy is only available for JP on mobile devices and PC. And for my last story, we have Bleach Brave Souls, which is undergoing a collaboration with Burn the Witch from now until the 31st of October. This is the second time the game has had a crossover with Burn the Witch, so you'll have the chance to get any characters you missed, as well as an all-new unit. That new unit is Bruno Bangknife, with the two returning units being Nini Spankole, the girl on the left, and Noelle Mihashi, the girl on the right. The banner that the three characters are on will be a step up. Players can get a 5-star unit guaranteed every 5 steps until the 30th step, with the rest of the steps giving an extra reward as well. If you're mixed on summoning on the banner, you might as well summon at least once because the first consecutive pull is at a discounted rate of 50 spirit orbs as opposed to the usual 250. To give a little more incentive to participate in the collaboration, players can receive 5 spirit orbs each day until the 31st just for logging in. That's not all. Oshuchi's present bonanza is up until the 17th of this month, and by completing the corresponding quests, players can get rewards like Rainbow Link slot potions, 4-star summon tickets, and more. Additionally, players can take advantage of free consecutive summons every day until the 31st, with Step 10 guaranteeing a 5-star unit. Lastly, there will be a raid that players can tackle with 5 others until the 31st. By completing the raid, players will receive medals, which can be exchanged for awakening and strengthening items. Phew! That was a doozy. If you'd like to participate in everything going on with Bleach Brave Souls, the title is available on Android and iOS devices for global. That about wraps things up on my end. Sly, take it away to close us out. Peace, guys.
Thank you, Iron. As mentioned last week, Genshin Impact had a stream explaining what we will get in version 2.2. Last night was the patch and maintenance. After the maintenance, players received 600 Primo Gems, as well as the previous PlayStation exclusive character, Aloy. Players across all playable platforms now have access to Aloy, and since she is now accessible to all players, let's quickly go over her kit. Her normal attack performs 4 consecutive bow shots, with her charged attack dealing cryo damage with a fully charged arrow shot. Her E, or her elemental skill, throws a freeze bomb in the targeted direction that explodes on impact and deals cryo damage. After the initial explosion, it will split into many chill water bombs that explode on contact with opponents or after a short delay. These bombs will also deal cryo damage as well, and when a freeze bomb or bomblet hits an opponent, the opponent's attack is increased and ally receives 1 coil stack, which she can gain once every 0.1 seconds. This coil increases her normal attack damage. With 4 stacks, all stacks are cleared and ally will enter the rushing ice state, which further increases her normal attacks and converts them into cryo damage. Do note that she cannot gain any coil stacks while in this state. Lastly, we have her Q, or her elemental burst, aka her ultimate attack. Aloy will throw a power cell filled with cryo in the targeted direction, then detonate it with an arrow, which will deal AoE cryo damage. Overall, she's pretty solid for a free-to-play unit. Along with this patch began Tartaglia's rerun banner. Funny enough, it is literally a copy and paste of Ayaka's banner, but worse because Child is not that good, unfortunately. He plays and performs the best in his dagger style state. His arch style state is pretty lackluster and feels underwhelming. The biggest drawback is that it is almost a 30-second cooldown when you swap back to his arch state from his dagger state. Is he fun? He can be, definitely in his dagger state at least. But would I recommend going for him? Probably not. Hu Tao is the banner immediately following his, and she is tears and light years better as a unit than Tartaglia. We will absolutely cover her a week before her banner releases. Lastly, we got the final island of Inazuma, Surumi Island. While this is not a part of the Archon quest, it is an interesting short story and well worth exploring. Now that the anniversary has passed, it is time to set up spooky season in Paseo. Pokemon Masters will be introducing 2 new Halloween seasonal units to their roster with Caitlyn and Sableye, and Morty and Banette. We'll go over Morty first as he releases tonight at the time of this recording, whereas Caitlyn releases in 3 days. Banette has an interesting passive called Go Viral 9. This allows status conditions to spread to the enemy team. So combine this passive with Banette's Will-O-Wisp move, which only targets a single Pokemon initially, and the entire enemy team is now burned rather than just a single target. Combine all of this with Banette's Sync move effect, which deals more damage when the target is burned, and you will be hitting much harder on the Sync. In addition, first users of the Sync move will cause Banette to Mega Evolve for the remainder of the battle. When Mega Evolved, Banette's Shadow Claw becomes Shadow Sneak, which costs no move gauge. With his grid, he gets Overwhelm 9 on his Shadow Sneak, allowing him to double up as an attack reducer. He just needs to support it to increase his physical attack. Moving over to Caitlyn, we have an insane support tank on her hands. Her first passive is Quick Tempo, which applies the move gauge acceleration effect to the allied field of play when the user first enters the battle. Upon Mega Evolution, this becomes Opening Blockade, which applies both physical and special damage reduction effects to the allied field of play when the user first enters the battle. Want more damage reduction? Of course you do. In her grid, Sableye has Sync Wall, which will apply critical hit defense to the ally field of play upon first use of the Sync move. Adding Vigilance as a passive, she can never be crit upon in general, allowing you to have Impervious as her lucky skill, which will prevent the reduction of stats. In her kit, she can raise both defenses and gains both NPRs in her grid. If you want a wall, this is the Sync pair for you. Last but never least, we have Dragalia Lost. Cygames has blessed this anniversary even further. With the release of the Part 2 Anniversary Raid, we have received a free Dream Summon ticket. Yes, free. By playing the raid and farming up the emblems, you can receive a free Dream Summon ticket at 5,000 gold emblems. If you are curious as to who to choose, Grace or Summer Verica. Both are shadow staffs and are the titans of staffs in the game right now. There's no right or wrong answer of who to choose. When this video goes live, we will be 18 multis into the 38 we are getting, so there are still 3 more weeks to go of the free multis, as well as a free 100-fold summon the day after the free multis end. I hope everyone has had good luck so far. New week means new trials of the mighty boss. This week is Wind Legion, which requires usage of sword, blade, or staff flame adventurers to participate. Funny enough, one of the best flame swords is Fire Yuden, the 4-star character you obtain just by installing the game. He rams Dragon fairly well and dispels in dragon form with normal attacks. This boss will grant the convictions and devotions needed to Mana Sparrow Wedding Owie. Lastly, we have Part 2 for the Anniversary Login. Receive 1500 Wordmite, an Omnisite, a Sunlight Stone, and much more just by logging in every day. That's all for this week's Gacha News. I'm your co-host Sly, signing us off here at 59 Gaming Mobile. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.